G'day, Jim Kennedy here again, and I just want to answer a question for Dean. He asked me about pitching. Now, I'm not going to go into my full, complete short game system for amateurs. However, I'm going to give you a couple of pointers that will put you on the right track, and some of the key things that I see that most amateurs, the mistakes that amateurs make that hurt their pitching. So first of all, when I ask a person or a golfer, what is a pitch shot? There's so many variable answers to that. So I want to clarify that. First of all, I would determine a chip shot just a single lever motion where there's no wrist cock in it at all. It's just a single lever motion. Now, how I think of that is if I was to throw a ball underarm, I'm just going to swing my arm back and forwards, not going to use any wrist. I'm just simply using my arm to throw a ball to someone. Now, the problem with that is it's limited how far I can throw the ball. Same with a chip shot with a single lever motion where we can only propel the ball a certain distance. So a pitch shot would then become a motion where we start to use wrist cock, and when we use wrist cock we get more power. Just like throwing the ball further, what I would then tend to do is throw it more overarm where I'm starting to use my wrist as I throw the ball. Now that's going to create that second lever as I throw the ball, letting my wrist come into play and propel the ball further. So think of it, if we have wrist cock in our backswing, we're going to hit the ball further, and that's what I would call a pitch. Now, if we have wrist cock in our follow through, this is what I would call a lob shot, which creates more spin on the ball and gets the ball to stop. I would suggest stay away from that one until you get your handicap down low enough and confident with your wedges of being able to do that. Because I see people trying to do that, all they end up doing is flipping it with their hands this way, getting the incorrect impact position, ball sculling over the other side of the green into bunker, water, whatever is laying over the back there. So I would suggest wrist cock in the backswing, swinging through and holding this position, and that's what I'd call a swing number 2. So let me explain that quickly. Swing number 1 is just a chip shot, no wrist action. Swing number 2, wrist cock in the backswing, swing through and holding it there. Swing number 3 would be wrist cock backswing, wrist cock follow through, more of a lob shot if you like, or a pitch and hold if you like. This one's going to be more a pitch and run, where the ball's going to land on the green and just release down to the flag. The other thing I notice with most golfers, and I'll use a club here to demonstrate things, is their setup. They tend to set up with an open stance because they're being told, you know, you've got to open your stance. Now, all the people have asked why, there's all sorts of funny reasons, like you can see the hole better, you open up your hips, and it allows your hips to turn better through to the target, all these sorts of funny things which don't make sense. I haven't heard a sensible answer yet. The problem I see with people doing that is they then take the club back in here, gets the elbow too far inside, especially for bears, that's really difficult, makes it even worse. So therefore they get all trapped, they're coming too flat, they're not swinging on plane. So what I would suggest is simply stand parallel. The key to a chip or a pitch shot is we don't need a lot of power, so we're going to have a narrower stance. We're taking any weight shift out of it. We're simply just going to use our arms and wrists as such. So ball position, I like to have slightly center of our stance. So if I was to show you that from this view, just center of our stance, as you can see my feet aren't too wide apart. And the address position, I would suggest imagining you're going to lean against a wall with your left shoulder. So all you simply do is move your weight forward onto your left foot here. So you've got about 60% of your weight on your left leg. That is going to help you hit down more into the ground and get a better impact position rather than sort of sitting back on your right and trying to lift it up in the air. So once again, get that setup position square, and then all you're doing from there is just letting your arms go back. Now, depending on the distance from the landing point on the green where you want the ball to land, and that's not the hole, is going to determine how much swing you need. A little bit of wrist cock where you're going to go back, use a little bit here, weight forward, looking at the ball, letting the ball land on the front of the green and run down to the hole. Okay, try those 2 key points. One is setting up square, don't worry about getting open and getting all tangled up. And the other part is understanding the levers in your swing and what you're trying to do. All I'm trying to do with this sort of shot, land it on the edge of the green, let it run down to the hole. Try that, let me know how you go. If you've got any questions or comments, leave them below and I'll get back to you. Thanks.